Yes, we are here. Mayong buntag, magananu maga, mayong aga. Huh? How do you say good morning in Waray Waray? My upay ay naga? My upay na aga? My God. Crazy. All the different dialects, right? Good morning, everybody. Good evening there. What do we got? So we got Sunday morning in the Philippines, June 22nd, 7:30 a.m. and West Coast, right? Or United States, it's Saturday night. Yes, Saturday night. I don't know what time Saturday night, but Saturday night. Hope everyone's good. So we're mid-loop, man. We are mid-loop in Samar. We've been riding. How long have we been riding, Di? Maybe a week now. We've been riding about a week, just kind of taking our time. We've been riding through southern Samar. You know what? Let's see if we can bring up the map. That's 1 second here. Let me get that set up. I spent the time kind of setting up the kind of introduction there where I didn't, but let's see if we can set up the map, share screen, allow, Google Maps, share. Okay. And yeah, let's just, okay, great. You guys are seeing that. So what we got here is, and just so too, we're hotel internet, which has been pretty good. It's been hit or miss. It's been up and down a little bit. So in case there's any connectivity issues or anything like that, we are at a hotel. And yeah, so kind of where we're at right now, as you can see on the map here, we're at Rose Hills Mountain Resort. Decent place, right? 1,000 pesos a night. Nice little restaurant here. Yeah, so nice little place outside the city of Oras. And let's kind of zoom out a little bit so you get a little picture. And that internet's lagging a little bit here. Let's see here. Yeah, I get a little bit of connection unstable. Yeah, the internet's a little bit, guys. So hopefully we'll be able to kind of proceed. And I'm seeing it here on my map, but we'll let that zoom out and see kind of how it's going. But yeah, so we're mid Samar Loop, and we're out in Oras, eastern part of Samar. Today we head up and we're going to finish that eastern coast, and then we're going to ride up and be in the northern part of Samar. So we've really kind of got the next week or so planned out for the most part. As far as, one of the things that I'm seeing is that you really kind of have to strategize your stays through Samar here. And, just not a ton of options, right? So like, for example, where we're at now is probably one of the only cities here, or one of the only hotels here in this city. So maybe there's another one on the south side of town, but yeah, that map isn't really loading here. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing that. Just focus on the video. Unfortunately, actually, you know what? Yeah, connection's fairly good. Okay, it might be picking back up again. Well, once the map connects, we'll take a look here. But so that's kind of where we're at and what we've been doing over the past week. We've been driving around and yeah, just kind of enjoying it. I said, really excited about our next phase of it as we kind of finish up this eastern side and head up north. One of the standouts for me is, especially from eastern Samar, is kind of the focus on surfing. As I'm looking a little bit of information, these cities that we're in, as we're kind of passing through them, a lot of them talk about how they're known for their surfing, and there's a lot of surfing in the area. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And then when we're down there in southern Samar, down there on that island down there, they had big surf camps and stuff like that where you can take lessons. So my buddy Kevin, I don't know if you guys saw that last video, but Kevin actually went out and got some surf lessons, the guy we were traveling with. So yeah, that's kind of one of the standouts for me in the Samar region. Also too, it's a little bit flatter. It's not as hilly as some other regions of the Philippines. But yeah, really, beautiful, big surf, nice little coastal towns kind of throughout here that you kind of go through, not as much accommodations. And the other thing that's just kind of a standout, as I've talked a lot about this in the videos, are the road conditions. Both Mary Rose and I were a little bit concerned about the road conditions and if we would have issues. But yeah, the road conditions have been, honestly, they've been great. I've had no problems where, where it's been a problem with the road, or, honestly, I've had worse conditions in Cebu, worse conditions in Leyte and Mindanao. So far the roads here they've been great. So yeah, man, that's kind of been the trip so far. We're, like I said, about halfway through. Let's see if that map loaded up yet. Yeah, okay, great. Let's go ahead and we'll share out this map here. Oh, not that, I'm sorry. And then share screen, Google Maps. All right, share. Okay, cool. So we're here on Eastern Samar. Yeah, that's just slow. That ain't coming in or out. Anyways, we're here at Oras. I'd love to kind of show you a little bit more, but yeah, the internet here isn't really cooperating where it's going to be fast enough to kind of move around the maps. So sorry about that. We'll just kind of see what we can get through here, but we'll take a look at some comments. Yeah, I guess you need to speak Ware if you're still in Morong City. Yeah, they speak Ware here. They speak Tagalog. Also, that's what Mary Rose has been primarily speaking is Tagalog when she's kind of been speaking to the locals here. But everyone's been super friendly. Yeah, Mary Rose has commented on several occasions how friendly people are here. So that's been really great. I haven't really noticed any difference, like good or bad. People have just been kind of the same towards me. You can definitely tell you're in a region with a lot less foreigners. So they, whenever you're in a area of the Philippines where there's not as many foreigners that either travel there or staying there, there is a different experience. But that's kind of, since I left Cebu, that's mostly my experience. So there is a little bit of that here where they just kind of they treat you, the locals treat you a little differently. There's just more of that curiosity. In Cebu, there's not a lot of curiosity there around you, but here outside of like Cebu and Manila and some of these other more populated areas, there is still quite a bit of curiosity towards foreigners. So the other thing around that I would just kind of say is what you like, the motorcycle makes a big difference too if you're riding or your mode of transportation. So for example, Mary Rose is on the ADV 160 and I'm on the NX500. Well, scooters are everywhere, right? Everyone rides a scooter. Pretty much everyone has a scooter, but nobody really has anything beyond a scooter. So my bike is definitely a standout, and just driving that bike around, you really stand out, which whatever, it's not necessarily good or bad. But it is something to kind of, you don't blend in right on that bike, which, if you're looking to travel through Mindanao and some of those other regions, probably not the best of idea, right? To be on that type of bike. But here, whatever, Samar and most of the other parts of the Philippines, it's not a bad deal. But yeah, good times here in Eastern Samar. Yes, in Oras. Yeah, I like this little town. Go ahead, babe. Are you going to say something? Oh, okay, you're looking at me like you were going to say. You like this little town of Oras, right? I like it. Not too bad. It reminds me a little bit of Palawan, maybe a little bit smaller. I don't think there's a university here, or is there? Yeah, no. Oh, wait. When we went north, didn't we pass a university? Yeah, okay. In Barong, yeah, in Barong City, yeah. There's definitely a university there. You know what? I'm gonna get some more water here real quick. But yeah, no, it's been Oris is nice. I like this little town. I think it's a little too small for me to live. I'm just pouring some coffee here. No, I'll just off screen. Yeah, I think it's a little small for me to live in, but to visit, to hang out, to do that, I can definitely do that. I could definitely travel through and spend a little bit of time here. That's not a bad little town. But yeah, yes, Oras. How you guys doing? Hope all is well. Yeah, Richard. Yeah, Richard, things are good. Yeah. So I'd caught a little bit of a bug coming back from the United States. I've been back now, whatever, a couple weeks. So I caught a little bit of bug and I was sick. And then the nice guy that I am and like to share, I shared that bug with Mary Rose. So she's a little bit sick. So honestly, we both felt better, but we're doing all right. I'm actually on the tail end of it where I would say probably whatever, 90% done. And Mary Rose is working through it. She's, she feels okay. She's just coughing a lot and that kind of deal, but no fever or anything like that. But yeah, we both felt better. But Richard, we're in the Philippines. We're traveling around. It's really interesting because I have to wake myself up to like my life. I really do. I have to constantly, not constantly, but I have to, when I went to the United States and came back, it did wake me up to, well, like, what am I doing? Right? Like what I'm doing. But in a good sense, like, wow, I get to travel around this country and be on a motorcycle, and I'm really away from a lot of what's going on in the world. I don't really have any idea. I participate in these seminars, right? It's a weekly class, a weekly conversation. And in the beginning of this conversation, they're talking, hey, I know there's a lot going on in the world, and this and that, right? And I was like, what are they talking about? So that's kind of one of the beauties of what I've got, the experience that I have in my life, is I really don't, I really have a really isolated kind of happy experience where I just hop on my bike and go. So yeah, I've got a little bit of a bug and whatever, right? And there's always a problem in life, right? There's always something to kind of come up against, but I have to really remind myself what an incredible, lucky, and fortunate person I am to kind of do what I'm doing right this moment. So yes, things are good. You know what? I got to put this filter in the bathroom, but here, let's take a look at this. I spent time there also. I ate at the Rose Hill restaurant. Yes. And shot a few baskets at their basketball court. Oh, thanks, babe. So yeah, the basketball court is right there, dude. We're right above it. And the restaurant is really good. I really both really surprised, not surprised, but really have enjoyed the restaurant there. The coffee's been great. And the food's good too. The chicken in the sal with rice, we've got that a couple different times now. And yeah, we're really been pleasantly surprised. I tried the pizza. The pizza in the Philippines is a little bit, I don't know, man. I mean, this was pretty good, but pizza here can be a little bit of a challenge. But yeah, good for you, brother. Yeah, I'm liking it out here. I do like it. Like, I wouldn't want to live, but I could see, especially going back down to Southern Leyte down there. I really wish my map was working, but I don't think I've got the bandwidth to do that. In fact, I'm going to close out of some of these tabs here, see if that helps at all, as I'm getting internet stuff. Yeah. So, but yeah, I like it out here. I was saying I would like to come back to Southern Samar and do some surf lessons, right? Like stay a month out there and get some surf lessons. I would love to do that. So yeah, we'll see what's going on. Yeah. And yeah, it's funny, right where I'm at, man. Decent little place. Probably one of the only places to stay at right here in this region. Hey, what's up? Was advised that the West Coast roads are not as great, so looking forward to seeing what you think. All right, you were advised that the west side of Samar, the roads aren't as good. Hey, Xavier, what's up? Check out his channel, guys. If you're not, he's got a great channel, traveling all around too on his bike. So good for you, brother. Hope you're good. Yeah, I'll be interested to see. The nice thing about the western side of Samar is, there's some bigger cities along there, which makes it easier to find places to stay. Here, the accommodations are so sparse that you really do have to plan it out. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see the roads there too. Looking forward to today actually, as we head north, we head up around northern Samar, and I'm seeing a little bit of the rock formations and stuff out there, so it should be pretty cool. Looking forward to it. Yeah, Borong City has a major university. Yeah, that looked like a big town. We stayed there a couple nights. We stayed at the Rawis hotel there right along the river. Yeah, decent little town. Friendly people there too. That looks like a good city to kind of be in. I really like that kind of size of town, especially just kind of hanging out and being, good sized town. I think that would be a good spot to be. I saw this. So you're saying Burung City has a major surf competitions there on Bay Boulevard. Yeah, no, I think you're right. We, as I was doing a little bit of research of the town, I saw the same thing in the video I shot is right along there on that coastal area. And the surf was really small, but you can tell the break. I mean, the break was like the whole coast, like hundreds of yards that break. So I could imagine if the surf was bigger, how that would be really good surfing there. So because the breaks would just look super clean. So yeah, no, I might. That would be a good town to go back and go to learn surfing in, because you got a little bit of a bigger community there, a little bit of a bigger city. That would be a. You know what? I might do that sometime there. I actually might jump back to uh, Barong City there and take up surfing. That would be fun. It's always something I've wanted to do. You know, I lived in southern Florida a lot of my life, but I lived in the Gulf Coast of Mexico. So little island, Anna Maria Island there. And, you know, there's no waves there. So that's kind of why I really like being out here in the Philippines is, you know, my late teens and early 20s, I was exposed to kind of island living and just really loved it. So, but never did any surfing out there just because of there's no waves, right? So yeah, I could see myself heading back there for a month or two and taking up surfing, you know, get a little place. It's so affordable, guys, right? Like, you know, you can do this kind of stuff. You can keep your house and wherever you're at, and then bounce over to another town and spend a couple months and chill over there, kind of deal, right? So, you know, it's something I might do. Excuse me. My number one girlfriend's mom family is from Oras. Yeah, tiny and random. Yeah, no doubt, brother. But she goes to school at ESSU in Boring City. Yeah, we went right by that university, I remember. So I spent time in there in both places, March 2020. Oh, Felix. Oh, no doubt. No doubt, brother. And you and I have talked before. Yeah. Yeah, dude. Yeah, good for you, man. That's so wild. Yeah, you know right where I'm at. Great little town. I'm looking forward to heading up north. Should be a good time kind of running through there. Yeah. Yep. Eastern Samar State University in Boring City. Yeah, we went right by there and went by the university there. Looks like a good sized university. Yeah, the city there, Barong, reminds me of Palampong, just as far as the size of it, the feel of it, and that. Good little community. Enjoyed it. Like I said, I could see myself staying there a couple months. Why didn't your trip with Chad Foster work out? Well, it did, right? We went on a trip. I think we traveled together, I don't know, for about a month. So we left Cebu, what was that, around March or so? And then I had to go back. I had forgotten a couple things there in Cebu. But then I came right back out. I actually met up with Scott, right? Scott, Chad, the three of us were in Naval there. So yeah, I mean, we were all three of us in there. We didn't really vlog much together. Matter of fact, the three of us didn't vlog at all together. But yeah, they were all there. And you know, I think as far as really Chad and I and Scott and I, we're just at different places. Those guys are really focused on dating and that kind of deal. And I'm not. I'm more focused on traveling around and, you know, exploring the islands and stuff like that from motorcycles. So we're just doing different things is all. And you know, some of that didn't line up. And it, you know, after about a month of hanging out, I just like, you know, you do your thing, I'll do mine kind of deal. But yeah, that's kind of but we did that trip and traveled together for maybe close to a month or so. Yeah, I can't remember the timing of it. It was right before I met Mary Rose. That's the other part, is I had started dating Mary Rose. So when they were still in Naval doing stuff in there, Chad and Scott, and then I went back to go to a birthday of some friends in Palampong, and that's where I met Mary Rose when I was going back for that birthday. So yeah, I mean, it worked out for what it was, but beyond that, we're just different people doing different things. Are the girls prettier in the province compared to Cebu or Manila? You know, I don't necessarily know if they're prettier. They're the same in a lot of ways, but I tell you what they are is they're definitely more innocent. They're definitely more traditional. You know, so it just kind of depends on what you're looking for, Ryan. If you're looking to you know, live in Cebu or Manila and date a lot of girls, you know, that would be the place to do that versus the provinces. But as far as look, you know, they look the same. They're, you know, more conservative, so they might dress a little bit differently. But there are some differences between islands too, I feel a little bit. Like, you know, some islands, the Filipinos are a little bit bigger and some of them are a little bit smaller. And, you know, obviously there's different dialects and stuff like that. Some areas you have darker Filipinos versus lighter skinned Filipinos. So, but But yeah, it just depends on where you're at. I think the main thing here, Ryan, is kind of what you're after. If you're looking to date a lot, to kind of be that deal, or if you're looking for like a long-term girlfriend or wife or whatever, that's where you want to distinguish city dating versus province dating, because there is a big difference there, right? Yeah, you're Mexican American. All right, brother. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And had their nachos as an appetizers. They were different, but still good. Brother, that's one thing I miss is really good Mexican food. Oh my gosh. When I went back to Colorado, my wife is Latina. So, she's from Mexico. So I ate a ton of Mexican food when I was there. And that's one of the things that's hard about here in the Philippines is good Mexican food. There are a couple places like the Mayan restaurant is pretty good, actually. I really enjoy the food there, but having just fresh tortillas, man, I really miss fresh tortillas. Yeah, too wild, man. Yeah, good for you, brother. Yeah. Yeah, you've got a good-looking family in America. I was expecting an abrasive Walmart life. Oh, brother, I was very successful in the United States in a lot of ways. But what had happened is when my divorce happened, a lot of that I kind of fell apart, right? Like a lot of us do. We get divorced and it's a complete shift in identity, right? And so when that happened, it was just kind of like, I can't rebuild what I had. I can't afford the housing anymore. I can't afford any of that. So what I had done is just this, for really financial freedom and a lot of reasons around finances, I decided to leave the United States. But I had a really great life. I had a good career. I was an IT guy for a law firm that I worked at for 16 years and making well over six figures. So I was making good money, but I was just completely unfulfilled, right? And I just looked at my life and I looked at kind of the society and the culture and really just the hatred. I describe Western living as a hate culture, and I really was looking for something happier, more fulfilling. Going to the job every day and my life, I felt like my life was for somebody else. It wasn't even my life, you know? And here I just, like I said, I got to pinch myself. I get up and I'm riding my bike and I'm traveling all over and got a great girlfriend, but yeah, no, I've got a great family there in United States. My ex-wife and I are phenomenal friends. I'm so close with my daughter, reconnected with my son and his wife down there. So yeah, man, it's just I really do. I'm really lucky in a lot of ways. But yeah, no, good people and good friends down there for sure, all throughout you know United States, and like I said, really good friends with my ex-wife still. My goal is to come to the Philippines August 3rd for my 70th birthday. Good for you, Richard. Yeah, good for you. And yeah, Cebu, Manila, depending on your health and stuff like that, will be easy. BGC in Manila is super easy. Guys that are used to like a Western lifestyle, BGC all day long, super easy. You actually, when I go there, I feel like I'm back in the United States. I mean, it feels like I'm not in the Philippines anymore, but just because the Philippines that I know and like. But for a newcomer to the Philippines, yeah, man, BGC is fun. You'll get a taste of it for sure. It's different. The people aren't as friendly as they are in some of the other areas of the Philippines. But nothing wrong with that. Good for you, brother. Yeah, hope your trip goes well. And check out when you're flying out here. Just check out Jennifer Terry's stuff. She's really helpful. I made some mistakes flying out, not kind of like with the freaking eGov app, waiting to fill it out at the airport and then 20 minutes to fill that dang thing out at the airport while I'm trying to get on my international flight was a little bit of a hair-raising experience. But, yeah, so just I would check out with her ahead of time, but yeah, good for you, man. Yeah, I've been following you for a few weeks. Great conversation. Oh, man, well, welcome aboard, man. I'm trying to plan a long stay over yonder in the Philippines. All right. Yeah, man. Yeah, good for you, Chris. And yeah, man, let me know if you got questions, anything you want to talk about in the live forum. Really kind of wide open. We can talk about whatever. I'm pretty much an open book in a lot of ways. And some things I protect myself with, but most of it I don't. I share whatever's going on. I'm pretty honest about stuff. Jimmy, dude, what's up, brother? Hey dog, turned on YouTube. The first thing that popped up was your mug. Hope you're well. Rent an apartment in Davao. All right, man. Oh, good for you, brother. Yeah, man. When you come back, we got some riding to do. Oh, so cool. Yeah, so we've been we're here in Samar, man. We're cruising around Samar doing it. Oh, good for you. Hope the summer's coming up there, right? Yeah, you're in midsummer. You getting any riding in? Oh, so funny, man. So cool. Mm, yeah, so cool. Good for you, man. Ah, French fry. Have you heard anything about? Oh, yes. So the how do you pronounce that? Jacato Bridge. First of all, thanks for the super chat. Appreciate that, man. Yes, I have heard about the bridge, and we went over it, and I shot a little bit of video on it, and you can see the traffic on there. It is built up. So what they've done is they've closed it down to one lane. So they let, whatever, 3 minutes of traffic go through, and then they shut it down and they let 3 minutes of traffic go through the other direction, right? So it's down to one lane. But as a motorcyclist, you can kind of work your way up. You can ride Filipino style like you do here, so you can get through it. But it is a delay, but they've stopped all big trucks to go through. So yeah. Anyways, and there's some local. I don't know if any of this is accurate, but there's some local talk about it being structurally fine. That its closure is politically motivated. I don't know. But something probably to kind of look at or consider. But you're absolutely right, French fry, that the bridge is indeed closed down to one lane. And it has really impacted two kind of other areas where we're at. The bridge, I'm sorry, so Palampon, where we live at, the trucks are piled up. So what they've done is they've moved a lot of that bridge traffic now is being moved to like boat traffic. So there's a lot more boat traffic in the region. So these trucks and stuff are moving by boats. So even when we're on both sides of that bridge here in Leyte Samar, I really wish I could pull up the map, but it's not really loading. But both sides of Samar and Leyte now are just backed up with truck traffic as a result, right? So yeah, it really has had an impact on the bridge. But we rode over it. And we'll ride back across it on the bike. So yeah, they got it down to one lane. Yeah. What's up, man? How's it going, brother? How are you? Yes, we are live on Samar. Pretty healthy still. Okay, you're benching 175. Good for you, man. Speaking of benching 175, man, I'm sure you guys have noticed. I've had a couple people comment, I'm getting a little bit roly-poly. I'm just it's you get traveling around and going to the United States and coming back and then getting sick and then going to Japan, so but as soon as both of us get better here, I'm still a little bit coughing and stuff. As soon as that's done, man, I'm going back in the gym and running. And really too, guys, we've been looking to kind of get set up in our next chapters and where we want to go. Mary Rose just graduated college, so we're probably going to stay in Palampon. And when we get back, we're going to kind of finalize a bunch of this next step stuff and stay there for whatever, 6 months, a year, finish traveling around Leyte. We still have so much more I feel like to do in Leyte that we just haven't really seen it. And then two, maybe even come back here. One of the things we both talked about is bringing our camping gear. This northern region of Samar has got a bunch of camping sites that we're seeing throughout. So we got a bunch of camp gear, man. We got tents, we got sleep pads. I just bought a solar powered fan. It's also a battery charger. So there's still a lot for us to see here. But yeah, we're looking around to kind of figure out what we want to do next. But good for you, man. Our journey to get back in shape is starting up really soon. As soon as we're both healthy, we're going to be back in. I've got a new running app that I want to check out. It's what's it called here? I haven't even used it. That's how freaking bad I am. Oh yeah, C25K. So yeah, a new running app I want to check out on there. But yeah, good for you, man. Yeah, you're gonna be down in Valencia or Duma. Okay, if you're a small town guy, definitely check that out, right? It's just a lot of people talk about Dumaguete, right? I think it's pretty overrated for what it is. I was down there for a while, and I was great to chill with Paul and Mike, and chat with the guys down there, the other bloggers and stuff. Meet Justin. First time I met Justin from Critter Hunter, and I never did meet what's his name, Mark, before he passed. But But anyways, yeah, it was cool to connect with guys like that who were kind of, doing the same thing. But um, the city itself, I really didn't. I was like, for me, there are better places to be. But whatever. I mean, I get the appeal. You've watched guys and channels that are from there, so you kind of want to go check it out. But to me, there are better places. Ormoc being one of them. Ormoc is freaking rock star, man. I really like Ormoc a lot. If you're looking to like that small town vibe, if I was a single guy and looking to kind of start my life all over, or even just marry Rose and I, Ormoc has got a lot to offer. It really does. You've got really easy access back to Cebu. You got like, no kidding, you got 2 different ferry companies, and each of them do like 4 ferries a day. So you got 8 ferries a day back and forth to Cebu. But you've also got like a Provincetown vibe. Not a lot of foreigners there. There's some, but not a lot of foreigners there. Ormoc I would say, is just a really phenomenal place to be if you're looking for more of that kind of what I would call like a real Philippines experience. But yeah, whatever. Valencia Duma, it's okay. Yeah, no worries there. Yeah, man, have fun. Yeah, enjoy it. What would be the best IT degree for remote work? Do you think you could hustle up remote work with your IT skills? Brother, it's been forever, right? It's been a couple years. I mean, I could, like, one of my backup plans was see if I could get in a knock somewhere. Network, what do you call it? What's that abbreviation for? Like network. It's like an infrastructure guy who would be watching network resources and stuff like that, and do do weekends and overnight support in the United States, which would be, during my day here, which is super simple. Yeah, I mean, I could probably get some work here if I wanted to. I mean, I've worked in the IT industry for whatever 20 plus years. Now, granted, I've been away from that for 2.5 years, but yeah, I mean, I could still do some entry level stuff. And even if entry level IT work, making, let's see, even say you made 40 grand a year, that is a crap ton of money here. That is a ton of money here. Hardly anybody makes 40 grand a year here. Hardly anybody. So, I mean, you would immediately be at 40 grand a year. You're like a professional athlete kind of salary, or a doctor, or a lawyer, that type of salary, right? So you don't have to make a lot. The problem is finding that, right? So yeah, no, that kind of was my backup plan. Thankfully, over the past couple of years, though, the markets have done really well, and I don't have to worry about work right now. At least as I keep an eye on it through the next 4 or 5 years till I get 59 and a half. But yeah, I mean, that's what I would do, is do some remote stuff, like a knock, get into network access, network monitoring, that kind of deal. Because I think AI won't replace that. I mean, it does to an extent already, but there's always got to be someone kind of watching it. So that's kind of what I would do. What else would I do? I mean, I know guys who are doing IT work and things like that here too now. They're system analysts and things, but yeah, I mean, that would kind of be the direction I would go. Security, I mean, I think security is always a good, internet security and that kind of deal. Companies are always going to be looking for that type of work, and you're going to get paid well. So that would be, if you're looking for like a degree, like an IT college degree, security is probably your most easiest avenue for that. My entry to IT work was similar to, like, I compare it a lot to construction, plumber, framer, masonry, right? So when I got into it in the late 90s, it wasn't really something you studied. I mean, there was CIS, computer information system stuff, but it was so dang generic, similar to construction, right? Like, no one goes to college for framing. No one goes to college for plumbing. I mean, you can go to technical schools, but for me, IT work was on the job training, similar to those careers. So that's kind of how I learned and just kind of picked it up. Plus it was, an interest for me. I was really interested in technology and that kind of stuff for a while. Plus I related well to people. I cared about people. I liked helping people out. And really that was what made me successful in IT work, because most IT people have zero people skills. So, I cared about people and wanted to help people. So I was actually really successful in IT. I got a little half naked Filipino over here wandering around the floor trying to stay off camera. Anyways, but yeah, brother, but here's what I would do just for really anybody. I would start diving deep in AI, Chat GBT, DeepSync. I think DeepSync's free. but yeah, man, I would jump into that, man, and just start. You could really use that. Here's what you could do with chat, or was it DeepSync? I just started using that one too. You could say, hey, look, I want you to take the role as a professional career advisor, and I want you to ask me enough questions for you understand who I am and what I like, and suggest career paths for me to take. I mean, guys, AI is just so incredibly powerful. I mean, I'm in it all day long, throughout the day, just asking it crap like that. I'm doing a lot of research on construction, building here and building with concrete, and that, I mean, just asking, how do you pour a concrete slab for the roof, right? It just all kinds of crap. So that's kind of what I would do, is just jump into AI and ask it those questions too. Hey, look, I want to move to the Philippines. I've got a goal. What resources, what ways can I make money out there, in the IT industry, right? And you got to really dig. You're gonna have to ask it the right questions, but you can get there. Yeah, somewhere here in Midwest 95. I'll be on the bike. Nice. Only bike I have here is a 50cc scooter. Well, brother, you got to get back, man. You got to get back. Dude, we were so close to being a Davao. So close. But we both were like, I'm not ready to leave yet. We still have a lot more to do here, but probably Davao at some point. We'll probably stay in Palampon another year and then shoot down that direction. Because we were both like, if we move to Davao City now, we're not coming back here. The likelihood of that is slim to none. So we'll probably just get set up there. We got a couple of places, a couple of apartments to check out in Palampon when we get back, and then move, and then just stay there a year, and then do what we're exactly doing now. Hop on the bike and go. Now we'll be down in Mindanao for sure. We're going to be down there. We're going to hop down and get on the bike and travel Mindanao, maybe even next after we get back. So we'll definitely be down there, but we'll keep our base there in Leyte now for a while. I really like freaking Leyte there. It's really, I really wish I could pull up the map, but that part of Leyte is just gorgeous. You're on the West Coast. You've got great sunsets. You're not on the leading edges of the storm like where we're at right now, right? So you're protected a little bit. The people are super friendly. It's province living. You do have easy access back to Cebu. So like we're talking about with Ormoc is what, an hour and a half away. Bye-bye is another option I really like. So you're fine, baby. I can't see that cabinet, so you're all right. I'm pretty much caught up on comments anyway. So, but yeah, Jim. Yeah, I'm excited to see you back, brother. So what became of the properties I was looking at? So the properties we were looking at weren't really, we had no intention of buying. I do want to buy a property and build a home. I will. Honestly, I'm not in a financial position where I can do it right now. So a lot of what I'm doing is just kind of getting ideas, looking at how much stuff costs, pricing, like price per square meter, locations, and then also too, just really finding out what I want, right? Just, gosh, it's like anything else. It's like buying a motorcycle. Buying a Goldwing, trying to ride a BDR, it's just the wrong tool for the job, right? And same kind of thing with land in the Philippines. I just really want to make sure I'm getting the land that suits me for what I want, the type of living I want to live, just like motorcycling, right? And I'm still really figuring that out. I don't know, right? Like, part of me does like the city vibe. I definitely like the beach. I envision a place a little bit in the mountains looking down, but having access to restaurants, having access to at least a halfway decent hospital, right, is kind of all in the mix there. So I'm really just kind of mapping that out now. So this year, later in November, one second. Sorry, a little frog in my throat. So this year, later in November, I'll be 55. So once I get 59 and a half, then I could be a little more adventurous with my finances, and do stuff like that. So really the next, whatever, 4.5 years, I'm just kind of looking at what I want to get, and then kind of make the move at that time, buy a piece of land, build a home, that kind of deal. I mean, that's kind of the plan. I mean, it could change. You know, I might be like, I don't necessarily want to build or buy a home. I don't know. We'll see. I do like the idea of building a base, that kind of deal. But who's to say I can't find that in a rental property either? I mean, maybe, right? So, but yeah. So the property that we were looking at was just that. It was just really for fun, really just to kind of show you guys what's available, what's out there. We'll still probably look at property, you know, while we're out here, just the same reasons, right? To get some ideas. But as far as actually purchasing something, yeah, I'm kind of a ways away from that, just because, like I say, I got to watch my money for the next 4 years. You know, things aren't bad, whatever. I've, you know, a couple $1,000 a month budget. You know, yeah. You watch Chad speaking about having the right mindset before making the move. What was the biggest challenge you faced, perhaps missing in Western culture? Thanks for the time today. Yeah, look, yeah, there's just some things that'll throw you off a little bit. You know, here's one thing that I see guys struggle with, and you know, there's a saying here in the Philippines. It's "Bahala na si Batman," you know, and "Bahala na si Batman," and it really is leave it to Batman, right? And it really it kind of says a lot about the culture here. And I would say that's the biggest challenge that I see. I don't know if you guys watch whatever, Tom and Live or Live, whatever. You know, that's a guy who's really struggling with the Philippines culture and that mentality. So those are the kind of guys that I see that have a hard time here, is they just can't deal with whatever it is that's here for them. You know, they have a hard time accepting how things are. Um, you know, if you're just a laid back and chill dude that, you know, is after, you know, nature and peaceful times and friendly people, then yeah, man, Philippines is for you. But if you're about structure, and things have to be a particular way and you're super rigid, the Philippines probably is not for you, right? Or if you're just about dating, you know, the guys that come over here exclusively for dating, I mean, let's face it, after probably 6 months, a year of doing that, if not shorter, you're just going to be like, you know, boy, I mean, I would be anyways. You know, just like, wow, this is a freaking nightmare, you know? So those are the guys that I see that struggle with it. Guys that can be fluid, guys that can be flexible, guys that didn't come over here to you know, sleep with 20-year-old girls, you know, that's who I see really just kind of does okay here. Um, all those other guys, they come and go. They really do. And you'll see a lot of people come and go. You really will. I've seen tons of people come and go. And then, like I said, the guys that I meet now, especially out in the provinces, you meet a different caliber of foreigner. You meet a different kind of guy out there. You meet a guy who you know, they got to be glued together pretty tight to be out there. Um, you know, and they're not about chasing girls, because you can't do it out there. You know, you date one or two girls and you're a chick boy, and you know, you're lucky to get groceries, you know. So yeah, it's just a different dynamic, the city versus that. And but I would say the number one thing is, you know, just being flexible, being an easygoing dude. There's another saying here in the Philippines, is you get what you give. So if you're just an easygoing, respectful guy, you know, that's kind of the thing that you will get back from a lot of the Filipinos. If you're trying to take advantage of people or manipulate or that kind of deal, man, you are in for a rough ride here in this country, you know? So yeah, yep. Do you feel more freedom while riding in the Philippines? What's the difference between riding in the USA and Philippines? Hey, Jojo. Yeah, I would say, you know, the one of the big differences of riding here, and there's a lot of differences, but one of the ones that stands out to me is that it's a riding culture here. People are friendly towards motorcyclists. The people are friendly towards two-wheeled vehicles, you know, and in some ways too, along that is two-wheel vehicles is the norm, not the exception. You know, in Western riding is most everyone's in four wheels. Most everyone's in a car driving around. Not the case here. Well, I'd say it's maybe 50-50 or so, is the two wheels. So there's just so many more two-wheel vehicles on the road than four. So that's a big standout. another thing that's there for me, the differences between the two in the riding is it's a lot slower here, so much more slower. I mean, I'm probably I've switched to kilometers, so I'm riding around whatever 50 kilometers. I don't know what miles per hour, whatever 30, 40 miles per hour. I ride around maybe 50 kilometers per hour, maybe 60, 80 max is like the max I go. So it's a lot slower here. So a lot slower riding, a lot more two wheels, friendlier towards two wheels. You know, lane filtering, lane splitting, whatever the heck you call it, is very common here. I mean, people just go, especially in the cities. So yeah, and then and two, in some of these bigger cities, you have these huge riding communities and riding groups. There was a little bit of that in the United States, but here it's just so much more. Like, I was never really a part of any kind of riding community in the United States, and here I've been a part of several, or a couple. In Cebu, there was a really great Royal Enfield riding group that I love to kind of go ride with. We'd ride. I've been on several rides with them, so there's a lot more of that. I dig it. Yeah, yeah. And then the road conditions, like I said, a lot slower. There's different types of hazards here. There's dogs and that kind of deal, but the riding slow is a big standout. So, and that's a big factor when you're riding a bike, right? Mentioned earlier, Goldwing on a BDR, right? That's something you wouldn't want to do. So here, you wouldn't want to buy a big 1,000-liter bike because you're only riding 40 miles an hour most of the time. So the CC just kind of drops. That's why scooters are really, in a lot of ways, the Honda ADV 160 is probably the most practical two-wheel machine here in the country. I love that bike, man. We ride it all the time. Now I am glad I've got my NX500, but I couldn't imagine having 1,000cc bike here. It'd be ridiculous. You can't get out of second gear. I pretty much ride in third and fourth gear. So that is one of the big things. It's just kind of the speeds at which you travel it's super chill, laid back, and that kind of deal. Gear is another one that stands out. Hardly anyone wears gear. Pretty much the only thing people wear are helmets. It's hard to find gear. It's hard to find mechanics, hard to get tires, that kind of deal. So yeah, different, good and bad in some of that stuff. Good morning from Batangas. What's up, brother? How you doing, man? I believe that's you, right? Yeah. Still a bit dull from the test ride of the CB650 yesterday. Yes, hope all is good there, man. Yeah, dude, I'm on a road trip. We're on a big Samar loop, heading back around, heading around the East Coast, heading up to the North Coast now of Samar, and then back around down through the West Coast. So we'll see. So far, it's been a good ride. Really digging it. Hope you're good up there, man. Yeah. Troy. Hey, Chris, how's it going, man? Yeah, no, things are good. Getting over a little bit of a bug, so a little bit hoarse and froggy, but doing all right. Mary Rose she's probably 70%. She's got it too, but no, we're doing good, man. We're doing good. All right, let's see what. Yeah, Carol said it's not degrees, it's skills and certs. Yeah, IT is changing. AI first, if you think it's a hoax or not a cyber pilot cloud networking. Yep, that's certs, and so I'm ready to learn. Yeah, I agree. IT has been a lot about certs, certifications, whatever, MCSE, CCNA, bought a lot of it. And yeah, I would for sure dive into AI. Prompt engineering, I mean, come on, that would be, I don't necessarily know if that's an IT field, but prompt engineering is going to be key. You can get a job doing a lot of things with that. Yeah, no, for sure. I just wish it was around. I just think about, the stuff that I'm learning now, just what a tool to learn stuff. I just wish it was around when I was a kid, can figure stuff out. I don't know about you guys. I struggled in traditional education, traditional schools. I just socially, I didn't quite fit in so much a lot of the times. And, the girls loved me and the guys wanted to fight me all the time. And so traditional school wasn't a good fit for me. And plus I was just bored in school, and so I really wish AI was around as a way for me to learn back then. I'm digging it. Just anything you want to learn, it's just so, and the output, right? Like, it's just so incredible. Like, just even we're looking at tires for the ADV, right? You know, talking to AI, hey, look, we're getting ready to replace tires on ADV. What are some of the tires that you recommend? And just so powerful like that, and pulling up some whatever Michelin City Street 2, I think is the ones we're going to get. And then just saying, hey, look, you know, we're in Ormont, can we buy these tires? And boom, it lists up, you know, a bunch of places now. So just so incredibly powerful. But yeah, Carol, I would agree that you're right on in the certifications degree. I mean, I would say it depends on where you're going to be at. If you're at director level, a management level, that kind of deal, you have to have a college degree. So, but you know, getting your college degree and then also backing it up with certs is key. Whatever that security cert is big too. And that was a couple years ago when I was leaving. That was the big trend, is everyone was going to IT security. So I don't know where it is now. I've been riding the Philippines, but yeah. Taco, what's up, man? What's up, brother? Dude, what surf lessons, man? I keep thinking about that. So the city that we just got out of is also another big surf place. Although the surf was pretty mild there and there was no one surfing, but I think I'm going to stay there for a while, for a month or so, and take up surf lessons. So appreciate it, man. Good times. Back in the bubble, great ride. Yes, through Samar and Leyte. Even the bridge was super easy. All right, good. Hardest part getting back was the last 20 minutes. Yes, Friday rush hour in Cebu. So 2 worst days to be traveling in and out. It might be the Philippines in general, but definitely Cebu, is Fridays and Mondays. So Fridays, everyone's going home, and Mondays, everyone's going back to work. So those are the 2 worst days to kind of be traveling around. And the best day is Sunday. And this might be kind of Philippines wide, honestly. If you can travel on a Sunday, you're going to be the least amount of crowds, the least amount of boat traffic, that kind of deal. Everyone's home, they're in church, they're with family. So traveling around on Saturdays and Sundays are the best days. Mondays and Fridays are the worst. But yeah, dude, what a trip. What an event. Good times, man. Really good for you. Just got a hold of a Honda CR300 Rally. Dude, did you get the new one? The 2025 with the upgraded suspension? Yeah, man. Yeah, dude, Don Salvador. Gorgeous. That is an area I can't wait to get back to. Another area, though, honestly, is Mindanao. Mindanao is great, and I got to get down to Bukatan here soon. So I think what we'll do, maybe head out, maybe try to hook up with Jim down there and ride down through Bukatan. Because I haven't done that yet. But Don Salvador, incredible, gorgeous. The only other thing too, Troy, about Don Salvador, there is your volcano to the south. I really wish my map was able to work, but anyway, that's all right. Yeah, you've got that volcano to the south, and when I was there back in November, my phone was yelling at me for all the volcano warnings. So that's the one thing I just don't like about that particular region, is you're sitting right freaking on top of a volcano there that's blowing up. So, but yeah, good bike. Interested to know if you got to 2025 or not with the updated suspension. That would be, and then what's your thoughts on it? All right. Yes, changed my channel name. Yeah, I thought that was you, brother. To Odomoto, to include my first name. All right, there you go. Easy to remember. Think of odometer. All right, yeah. But call me Meter. All right, Meter. That's funny. Odomoto. I thought that was you, man. Yeah, good for you, brother. Yeah, good for you. Hope all is well up there. I'm sure we'll make it up there at some point. You know, a lot of this kind of what we're doing is just kind of casing things out. You know, it's kind of wild too. If I still envision a motorcycle tour company potentially at some point. So a lot of what I'm doing now is scouting out places to stay, things like that. This particular place where we're at right now would be a great pit stop for guys, you know, bringing forward. I mean, we took Taco through too, you know, so I've already taken, I don't know, 10, 15 guys on kind of these mild trips. And, you know, always in the back of my head is, you know, is this something I want to be doing professionally, you know, with a business, and, you know, just kind of taking guys through this country, you know, maybe get a couple bikes, you know, you guys fly out, you do some of these road trips and stuff like that, work in some stops and stuff. there's a lot of that in Thailand. There's a lot of that in what do you call Laos, probably Vietnam and Cambodia, but to my knowledge, there's not a lot of it here in the Philippines. And I mean, come on, man, this is a great place to be doing this. I mean, it's easy, it's safe, friendly people, beautiful scenery. Just to me, it's kind of a shock that there isn't anything like that out here. And something I enjoy doing myself. So something I'm always working in my radar. But yeah, good for you, man. Yeah, good for you. Roy, Chris, can you discuss traps of dating young Filipinos, like being enamored with the beauty vice character? Yeah. Have you lived without for so long that you create a materialistic center partner? You create a materialistic center focused partner. Yeah, dude, it's really, Roy, it's really hard. I admit my first relationship was like that too. Just completely enamored with the fact that, I had this, whatever, 30-year-old beautiful Filipina, right? No, you're right. And I think a lot of us kind of go through this. And even, you just got to keep your head on you, man. You really do. And then just, there's even a lot of it too, just even with Mary Rose and just keeping track on, also too. And I know a lot of guys who are watching this now and guys I've hung out with are in the same boat. We're twice these girls' age, and we take on a little bit of this mentor role. And all these guys that I've spoke with, including myself, we're like, we don't want to hurt these girls, right? And we want to make sure that they're fine. So there is a little bit of that kind of mentoring aspect of it also. So, but you're right, man, it's hard. When I first got here, I was like, wow, are you kidding me? This is what's actually going on. And just the fact that I'm dating this beautiful 30-year-old girl and, she's into me. So, and it's a complete 180 from where we come from, gentlemen. So, and you're right. We just have to be careful and not use any of those tactics like finances or money like that, but just know that we're mentoring. I mean, let's face it. Many of us, when we were 22 years old, right? We no clue what the world is like. And even today, still figuring out what the world is like. And so I just think keeping our head on, Roy, you're right on, man. And not ruining good people, taking care of the good people, not ruining them with finances, not ruining them emotionally. These guys that go through and churn and burn through these 20-year-old girls. I mean, come on, man. Come on. So, you're right. There's a lot of responsibility for us men coming over here. And some guys just use it as a tool or a weapon. So yeah, you just got to have your head on you. You really do. And, being honest, being upfront about it. Yeah. And just looking down the road, just realizing, we're not 20 anymore. We've been through a lot of this stuff and we have some experiences and things that we can share and make people's lives a lot better. I know a lot of guys, that's all they want to do is find the right girl and make her life a lot better. I know a lot of those guys. A lot of these guys are here right now. So yeah, but you're right. You got to keep our head on it, especially when we first get here. Great question, Roy. Yeah, computer security entry for cybersecurity, which is a very broad field. Yeah, but you get in, right? The problem with a lot of it, like I was talking about with construction, going to college for being a plumber, it's at some point you get that broad degree and then you go in and you specialize. That's the hardest part of IT is just getting in the door somewhere. Once you start getting that experience, then you can throw on your resume and that kind of deal, and you're pretty good. But get the cert, get the training, and that'll start you. That's the kind of the starting path. And then boom, once you start getting gigs and work, then you can do that. But again, go to AI. I would get masterful with AI. Get masterful at prompt engineering, and it'll change your life. Even if you don't find a job, you get masterful, because these questions that you're asking me, you could be asking AI and get like good answers, not from some 54-year-old. But really, I mean, granted, I've been was in the industry for, half my life, but I'm telling you, man, I think all of us get some mastery around prompt engineering, and our lives are gonna it be really that much better. I mean, I use it to find medication. You know, we're looking at, you know, here, this stuff, right? Ass cough, I mean, crap, this I'm actually going to do a video on the pills, drugs in the Philippines, right? Like, not, you know, this kind of stuff, you know, over the counter stuff. Because, you know, when we come here, we don't know anything about this crap. This is called ass cough. And, you know, by the name of it, you would think it's for an upset stomach and not for coughing. But yeah, so point being, get used to AI, use it a ton, get some mastery around that, and it'll help you with these questions that you've got around your career and stuff. But I think just at least in my day, getting certifications as well as a degree would have helped me a lot in my career. I would have probably been in management at this stage of my life if I had a college degree and some certifications along with it. But I'd still be working there, not here where I am now. So it all worked out, right? All right. Yeah, we've Canelon. We visited there all the time. There's an amazing festival there. I'm there twice a year for a month each visit. My Filipino family is there. All right. Oh yeah, the volcano. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Oh, there's a dressed up and showered Filipina. Want to come by and say hi? That's a nice riding outfit you have there, Di. So she's showered and ready. What you got? It's your nice. You wearing your leather outfit? Oh, you're gonna have your sun coat on too, huh?
You're making sure it's not.
Oh, no, you should put it on camera. Wild and crazy Filipina. But yeah, I know where you're at. The volcano there. Yeah, that's my only thing about Negros. To me, is that freaking wild and obnoxious volcano that's right there. What we got? 8:30. What time do you think we should hit the road, Di? Around 10?
After breakfast is 5:30. What else we got for breakfast?
And what time do they open? 9?
9.
Okay. All right, good. But yeah, good times, man. Montesano's return. Hey, K-Free, where is your link? My link to what, brother? What link you looking for? Yeah, I'm not sure. Which link you need there, brother? Odo, speaking of local language, to some extent is a good. Oh yeah. Speaking the local language to some extent is a good gold digger repellent. Why? It sends a strong signal that you understand the ins and out of her business. It's not foolproof, but works most of the time. Brother, you're absolutely right. And honestly, I think, you know, getting a grasp on the local language is important for many reasons. Even if you can just say a couple of words. I mean, come on, let's face it, especially as Westerners, and, you know, there's the saying, speak the language, right? And that kind of deal for immigrants coming to the United States. We definitely appreciate it. Why wouldn't we think that you know, Filipinos would appreciate it? So, I mean, even just some basic words, guys. I'm hardly fluent. I speak, I don't even know, maybe 50 words, and I say the same 5 ones over and over again. So, you know, so it is important, but being respectful, right? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, that kind of stuff. Thank you. Please. Talihog? Yeah, please. You know, just stuff like that. You know, how are you? ¿Cómo está? ¿Cómo está imo adlaw? Right? I know that says a lot, but I say the same damn thing over and over again. That's how was your day? And that when you can say that kind of stuff, it's so important. But yeah, as Odo's saying here, absolutely a deterrent for that kind of stuff. But you know, at the end of the day, too, it's having your head on you. It's just hard. You know, as a gentleman pointed out earlier, a lot of us come here and, you know, maybe we haven't dated in decades. Maybe we haven't dated in years. All of a sudden, we've got the attention of a young, beautiful Filipina. And that, you know, you can be like, what am I doing? Right? As far as, you know, you get in this relationship and you're like, you know what, this isn't working out, but are you kidding me? I'm really considering breaking up with this young, beautiful Filipina. And, you know, you got to have your head on you, you know, and then just be really clear about what you're looking for and what you want. I mean, Mary Rose and I get along great, but you know, whatever. It's we're not dead and in heaven. We have problems, and but we work through them. We talk about what was going on, and that's what I do with her. I was very clear, like, these are the things that are deal breakers, and she's given me her deal breakers, right? So, and it's just, hey, just being really open and honest, which also too isn't necessarily a part of the culture here. It's not a super a culture that's around communication, especially when it comes to hard, different things that can be challenging to talk about. It's a very non-confrontational culture. So excuse me, diving into some of these more challenging topics can be a little bit hard for a Filipino to do. Trump bomb Iran dramatic. Can you survive World War III in the Philippines? I don't know what's going on. I mean, I do know a little bit just because I've heard some stuff going on, but I don't really. That was kind of the thing that was a shock for me the other day when people were freaking out about what's going on in the world. I'm like, what's going on in the world? I had to look a minute, because you can really disconnect a lot from all of this stuff, which is so awesome. So I do know a little bit, but I didn't know we had any involvement. I knew, yeah. So anyways, as far as survive World War III in the Philippines, I don't know. I mean, part of my reasoning for being in the Philippines was around not being able to wipe my butt during the pandemic. I know that sounds weird, but I mean, that really opened my eyes up to holy crap, we have a problem in this country. And if things really ever hit the fan bad, I mean, you can't get toilet paper. What about food? What about the rest of it, right? So I do feel in the Philippines that this is a culture, this is a community that survives really locally in a lot of ways. So what do I mean by that? Well, I get eggs, I get my meats, all my stuff I get right there. That's from there. So I can still wipe my butt if it ever hits the fan. So yeah, I feel like that was kind of one of the reasons I chose the Philippines. Is I feel like, as far as survivability, I think it is a great place to be. There's also a lot you can do, eat and live right off the land. I mean, you can fish, there's fruit growing everywhere. I'm looking outside, there's probably 100 coconuts in my view, so I do think it's actually a good place for into the World War III, whatever, if it ever comes down to that. But I think another thing though that's there is, given the military significance of the Philippines, though, that maybe this gets gobbled up by China or whatever. I don't know, man. Those are all things that I don't necessarily excuse me, think about or worry about too much. I just drive my bike and get around. But yeah, wild times, right? Wild times. That's right, brother. Yeah, mid-November. Yeah, I'll be 55. Crazy. I don't feel it. I don't feel it. Do I look 55, Di? At least today I do. Now that I'm getting fat, I feel 55. She's looking at me like, yeah. 6 months ago, I felt great. I'll get back. Just as soon as I get rid of this bug, I'm back to running. I've got the app ready to roll. You ready, Di? You ready to go running? It's a nice ride from Dumaguete up to Cologne. Yeah, the riding in Negros is nice. I like the riding in Negros. It's actually probably one of my favorite areas. Leyte, though, is super nice too. I love the riding in Leyte just a little bit more, but I like the riding in Negros too. Samar is okay. It's been pretty, when it's flat, it's just because you're kind of in the palm trees. You don't really see much. I like mountainous roads a little bit better, and mountainous coastal roads are really nice. Mindanao had a little bit of that. Mindanao was nice. Yeah, Negros has got some nice riding. I'll link to join the chat. Link to join what chat do you think, Di?
Maybe community chat.
The Carefree Chris community group. It's in some of my videos. I'll be honest though, guys, I don't really do much in that group anymore. It kind of, if that's what you're talking about, the community group, you can join it. It's in the videos. I don't do stuff every now and then. It kind of blew up in some ways. I had a little bit of a falling out around it. I had a huge falling out with a bunch of expats right around October-ish. and it just got messy quick. And some of it stemmed from the community. I had some people in there that were trying to sell some services and things like that. And I was very clear. It's like, look, you can't use my community group to promote your businesses, to do that kind of deal. So anyways, there was a bunch of things that happened around that October, November timeframe with probably 4 or 5 different expats. But I'm like, yeah, this isn't working out so well for me. So what's the saying that people have with Geo or whatever? You know, you're not going to have any problems with Filipinos, but if you're going to have a problem, it'll be with other expats. Well, yeah, it's one of the reasons why I'm out of Cebu City. Not major problems, but just like, look, I moved to the Philippines to be around friendly, welcoming people. And, you know, what I was finding is I was surrounding myself with loud, obnoxious Americans, and that was the last thing I wanted to do. So anyways, if you're talking about my community group, yes, there's a link in all my video descriptions for that. Feel free to join. I don't really go in there too much anymore because of the headaches that kind of were associated around that. But it is there. But I'm not sure what other chat there is, but that was there. Knowing the local language is good, but just don't let on that you know. Sit back and listen, especially around Filipino and their family. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I would love to be fluent in the language. Like I said, I know a little bit, but I can't. Her and her sisters, her and her family start talking. There's no way I can keep up. But yeah, yep. Important to be respectful. Yep. But the Filipino taught me the nasty things first, right? That's what I hear over here too. She gets upset or whatever.
I know. Your gym instructor taught you.
Oh, my gym instructor? Yeah, taught me a lot of stuff. Yeah, it's fun. I just know a couple words, but just being respectful. You know, hello, good afternoon, thank you. That kind of stuff is really key. Is really key. Yeah, you liking the vlogs? Yeah, thanks, Joe. Appreciate it, brother. Yeah, no, it's been fun. Yeah, you know, the channel is definitely you know, kind of you know, a lot. It's a diary in a lot of ways. I'm just kind of, it's a vlog. I'm shooting kind of what's going on. Yeah, it has been fun for me. I've kind of slowed down a little bit. Like I've cut my videos down. Really, this year, I think starting in like January or so, I just do video once a week. I don't try to do more than that. I think it's too much for me. I think it's too much for the audience. I don't want to exhaust you guys out. And then also too, I'm retired, right? I'm not working, and the last thing I want to do is have YouTube be a job. You know, it's a lot of work as is. It really is. People don't understand how much work is involved in making videos. It's a lot, you know. But I enjoy it, right? Like as a former IT guy, as a professional, as a guy who was like up to something professionally, I really need YouTube as a way to kind of keep my mind and stuff like that. It's a hobby, right? But it's very engaging for me. I'm learning and growing and developing. But it is fun. It's you know, it's a hobby and enjoying it. And you know, I do have a commitment to grow and develop it and as well as myself. But it's been fun. I do enjoy it, especially now that I've taken more of a, you know, kind of a hobby look at it and not as a way to kind of generate revenue. I mean, that would be nice, but you know, I've really just kind of been, all right, this is purely something to kind of keep me busy kind of thing. But yeah, no, thanks, Joe. I appreciate it. Thanks for being here. When's your B-Day? Yeah, mid-November. Can you send me a link to join the chat online also in the screen? Could you send a link to the community group?
No, he's talking about chat on while you're streaming.
The chat while I'm streaming?
Yeah.
Huh.
He's talking about that. It's featured in StreamYard.
Oh. Oh. I'm not sure about a chat like that. Share referral. The only link that I have, old style, know about this feature in StreamYard. Yeah, I'm not sure, brother. Huh. I'll have to look at that. I'll look at that after this video and see if I can find out what more you're talking about. but maybe a private chat. Yeah, I'm not sure, brother. Yeah, it's interesting. I do. So one of the things when I was talking about making this more of a hobby, I don't know if you can see my mouse up here. I went to a free version of StreamYard, just because the paid version was 300, like between 300 and 400 US a year. I was like, it's way too much. When we looked at the expenses, I was spending whatever, I think $400 a month on YouTube stuff. And it was just like, honestly, that was my number one expense. You know, my most expensive line item in the Philippines was YouTube, more than my apartment, more than any of it. So one of the things that went away was StreamYard. I was like, yeah, this is for a hobby. This is a little bit over the top. So I have just the free generic version of StreamYard that's here, but it works just fine. It's fun. Enjoyed the Samar series, Chris. Yeah, I'm returning to Ormoc in September. All right. Yeah, Joe. All right, great. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, look me up. We should be in Ormoc in September. Yeah, especially when we get settled in. Well, we won't be in Ormoc. We'll be in next door to you in Palamon. But when we get back, we're looking at a couple of new apartments when we get back. So, yeah. So we should be in your area. Look us up, brother, when you're back in town, Joe. Yeah, maybe your old style to know about the feature in StreamYard. Yeah, brother, I'll look at it after the live stream. I'll do a little bit of research and see if I can figure out what you're talking about. Can you look to Mary Rose, see what he's talking about? Yeah, well, we'll look it up. Yeah, I'm not familiar with what you're saying, but I can definitely look it up. Can I sell my sticky rice on here? Yes, absolutely. You could sell it. So yeah, so what had happened, the whole story of it, it's really wild, man. I was doing these community events, right? Once a week, we'd just meet people up and stuff like that. Well, I was traveling, and one of the members was like, hey, you know what? I want to keep these community events going because I get a lot out of them. So I said, yeah, no problem. Keep doing the community events, but here's the one rule. You can't sell anything, right? You can't do it. You can't promote your businesses or anything like that. Because based on past experiences, that had happened with him and his girl, right? So he creates an event, and then immediately, you know, hey, how did it go? I'm on the road, right? I think I'm actually in Negros. He follows back with me and says, hey, you know what? This went well, but you know, I kind of like to start charging money because we can get these venues, these bigger venues. We could have people come in. We can do some presentations. We can talk about some real estate. And I'm like, you know, I said, look, I don't want to sell anything. I don't want to sell anything on these community events. I said, maybe down the road, if I want to go that direction, but right now I'm not looking to sell anything in these events. So please stop doing them. Well, 3 days later, I see another event on the calendar. After I told him, don't do anymore, let's talk in person. So that's what the community group came about. And then right after that, I got this other expat who was, you know, there was like 2 or 3 other expats at the same time that were like, dude, what is going on here? So yeah, no selling that. You can sell the sticky rice, but you know, I don't want people in the community group to be bombarded with sales crap, right? I'm not doing that. So why would you think you could come into my group and do that? You know what I mean? So anyways, yeah, right. That's the whole story. Trump just bombed Iran. We can escalate. Yeah, war can escalate anytime now. You're so lucky not here in the US to deal with all this BS. Jojo, I had no idea, man. Well, I hope you know it's actually one of my goals about the channel is I want to give people a space, a mind space that they can come to kind of escape. Because that's what this is for me. It's escaping the life of the West. You know, it's really interesting because when I was back home in Cleveland, talking to some of my family, you know, and talking about the lives and what life is like in the West. And I'm like, look, you know, I'm doing something that my ancestors did a couple generations ago, which is hop on a boat and get the heck out of there. And it is what I'm doing now. And just because I personally couldn't deal with that anymore. I really couldn't. And not to get political, honestly, the past 2 administrations at least have been just an absolute nightmare. I'm not Republican. I'm not Democrat. I'm not, I'm for good character men, people, forget even gender, right? I'm for good people with good hearts, people with good intentions, people with integrity, people with character. And we haven't had that in a president since, maybe since I've been alive. And so anyways, what I want this channel to be is a place where we can escape that, right? Where we can go and we can have a great experience. We can travel around the Philippines together, see what it's like dating and that kind of deal, but with character, with respect, with integrity, right? And that's kind of really the goal of this channel, is to allow you guys to get away from that bull crap. Because I couldn't do it anymore. I just couldn't. I couldn't. And it took an almost dying experience to kind of get to that, right? With my motorcycle accident, and is really what drove me out here. But yeah, that's crazy, brother. Yeah, be careful. Be careful. You can let other people talk next to you. You can control who appears in your room. Okay. Okay.
Maybe the one that is saying is the one that you did when you're in US and you're streaming around.
Oh yeah, I get what you're saying. So a link to come up and be on camera. Yeah. All right. We'll talk a little bit. Yeah, we can look at that too. I'll maybe dig a little bit to see what you're talking about. Oh, she got it. Yeah. Yeah, we'll take a look at that and see if that's like people come up and join video on the video. I don't know. Yeah, potentially. Yeah. We did that. You and I did that when I was in the United States. We had a little bit of a problem with that because she had it opened up on 2 sessions. But yeah, I know, what's his name, right? Like Mike, was it Mike, the guy in Angeles City? He did that a lot. I joined one of his. Yeah, I like it for a way for people to ask questions and stuff. But that's not a bad idea. Bring people up to the stream. Yeah, not bad. Coming to the Philippines and surround yourself with tons of expats shows that you're not ready to let go of your past, but realizing that this is the next important step to growth into this culture. Absolutely, dude. Yeah, it was one of the things that had me get out of Cebu. I just realized that, a lot of the things that I wanted to have in my life here, or escape, loud, obnoxious Americans and people, that kind of deal. I just was surrounding myself in Cebu City. And so that's why not everybody, it wasn't everybody, just really a couple of people really. And well, what's the expression? One bad apple ruins a bunch or whatever. So yeah, that's kind of what happened for me. But I still meet with guys all the time. I hung out with Jim. I hung out with, a bunch of guys, right? So yeah, I do like foreigners. It's not like I don't want to hang out with foreigners anymore, but I've noticed, Cebu City is it's amateur hour. It's kind of like going out. It's like being in Vegas. It's just, it's like watching teenage kids drink and get hammered and then holding their hair while they puke over the toilet kind of deal, right? That's what Cebu City is like to me. And I was there. I get it. And I don't want to come across as a space of arrogant or a space of superior or any of that. I just, uninterested. People find their own way. I had to. And people do that. There was a part of me who really wanted to help people in that process. But like everything else, people just have to go through it and figure it out. And Cebu City is like that in a lot of ways. You just get a lot of guys it's just rookie hours, amateur hours. It's guys who are just about chasing women. It's just, yeah, it's not why I moved here. I'm not saying everybody, of course, these are general statements, but it is what had me kind of move out of there. You know what? I got to change up my microphones. 1 second here. 1 second. But yeah, it's definitely a different caliber of expat. And so yeah, my mic was dying. definitely a different caliber of expat in the provinces for sure. Yeah, just guys aren't about chasing women or parties or that kind of deal. It's just because it's not out there. You know, none of that stuff. In Cebu, you get a lot of the wild and crazy expats. Say probably BGC in Manila. Yeah, sharing the screen. Yep. OBS plus Social Stream Ninja free chat overlay works pretty good. Not too hard to set up. Yeah, have to build it into OBS scene. All right, Rad Mage, nice dude. I'll check that out. Yeah, I'll have to look at some free stream stuff. This has been working okay. The fact that I can, but if I think it's only pushing 720, which whatever. I'd like for it to push full HD, but this is all right. If I want to recut it up though afterwards, that's kind of one of the disadvantages. But you know, I can look at other things. Yeah. All right, what else we got? What else you guys want to talk about? Anything else there? Let me plug in this microphone here real quick. There we go. My batteries are kind of dying out. It was one of the things when I went back to the United States, I kind of upgraded a couple pieces of hardware that I can't find out here. But I wonder with the tariffs now, if that's, you know, because so previously you would want to get your electronics before coming over here because they were cheaper. But I don't know if that's maybe not the case anymore with some of this new stuff that's been kind of implemented. I'm not sure. But what else we want to talk about, guys? What's there? What's going on? Anything? Any other show comments on stage? Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Yeah, so stream. I haven't streamed much recently, but it looks like there's also some stuff new to StreamYard that you can do. If it wasn't so damn expensive, I would do it. But anyways, my experience with expats is that most accept you because you are an expat too, not all because of your specific personality. Unlike Filipinos who like you for who you are, not as an expat exclusively. Yeah. You know, it's interesting. I like the part that you're talking about the Filipinos who pretty much just like you for being an expat. Yeah. No, I get it. It's a little different though when you get in some of these like areas like Cebu City where there's just so many, and it's kind of like I said, it's the beginner, it's the beginner place. So you just get that amateur hour, you get the rookie stuff. You know, I just like to be around guys who aren't all about chasing girls, right? That's one of the main things there for me is being around that type of expat. You know, the guys that exclusively are just here to kind of chase the girls. I'm just whatever. It's not that they're necessarily bad and wrong for wanting to do that. I get it, but I don't relate to it, right? It's not. So there is just, you know, we don't have a commonality. We don't have a common ground to kind of stuff. Guys who don't ride motorcycles, you know, whatever. You know, it's not like if you don't ride a motorcycle wouldn't mean I wouldn't want to hang out with you, but because I ride, and that's a lot what I do. Building kind of a friendship around that is there, similar to dating, right? Guys who date around a lot, it's like, yeah, whatever, do your thing, but you know, I'm in a different kind of avenue, right? But yeah, no, there's a different class of expat depending on where you're at, you know, and that's kind of what I'm thinking too. But yeah, Rome, hello, Chris, Newport News, Virginia here, nice man. My wife Velma and I have been watching your life in the Philippines. You're an awesome dude. Enjoy the Philippines. Yeah, thanks, brother. Appreciate you, man. I would assume Velma is from the Philippines, or both of you. Yeah, but no, thank you, brother. You know, like, look, I don't know, man. I've done a lot of work, right, and I continually do a lot of work, and I have just certain commitments to myself in my life, and one of it's being happy and surrounding myself with people who are also committed to that. So I try to keep a positive vibe, and like I was saying too earlier on, you know, one of my intentions of this channel is to provide a place where we can all escape, right? We can all escape. We can all go for a ride. We can all be around happy, friendly people and drive throughout a beautiful country. And that, that's a big commitment of mine in this channel and in my life. So, yeah, no, I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. What else we got? What's up, Dai? Come sit next to me for a minute. Come say hi. Come sit down. Come on. They got to see your outfit. This is your riding outfit for today. That's great. You sick?
I don't know. I'm good.
You're good? We don't have you mic'd up. You want a microphone really quick?
No.
Yeah.
It's fine.
No? Oops. I didn't plug it in. So, how's your Samar loop going?
Good.
Yeah? You enjoying it?
Yes. I enjoyed being a passenger princess, but I also love to ride.
So, it's so funny. We were riding around a little bit yesterday together on it. So what we'll do is we've got a couple hour rides that we'll do, and then we'll park the bikes and kind of cruise around together on the scooter. And I hear her back there. She's back there with a camera doing this and that. She goes, "Oh my gosh, I miss being a passenger princess." Because she's riding her own bike. We've got two bikes, right? She's on the scooter, and I'm on the NX500. So
Yeah.
do you get to be a passenger princess yesterday, and you like that? Yeah, right. Good
Because
times.
I can look around.
Yeah, look around, take some pictures, enjoy. Too fun. We're excited about this next loop we got, right? We're heading up to the northern section of Samar. Yeah, should be pretty cool. We've seen a little bit of
rock formations.
Yeah, kind of the scenery, what it should look like. It looks like it's going to be a pretty beautiful ride, right? Yeah, it should be pretty good. Yep. All right. You got any questions for Mary Rose too? Feel free to ask her questions too. Now that she's here, we'll probably go on for just a little bit longer. But yeah, if you got any questions for her too. Yeah, became very selective in your. Yeah, no, you're right. But you point. So you commented on this, and a gentleman commented on this earlier too, and I think that is a key. You really do want to be selective in your dating and all of that, right? In your friends, surround yourself with good people, that kind of deal. That's been kind of one of my things too, really over that past, 2024, was just really kind of completing some of those relationships with people who just weren't necessarily a good fit for what I'm up to and what they're up to, right? And so yeah, no, I agree wholeheartedly with that. Just surround yourself with people who share the same visions and kind of what you're out to create. What do you think, Diane? You've had similar experiences too with friends, right?
Yeah.
Where you've, kind of moved on from certain relationships. It's part of
life.
Yeah, part of being a human.
People come and go.
Yeah, people come and go, right? But that too, we're both similar where we want to, have a happy existence. We really do, and just kind of surround ourselves with people who are like that now, right? Right, Di? You got a cough? Yeah, she is going through it. Yes. All right. We got a question for you, Di, when you come back. So she had to go cough. Hold on. She's coming.
What? Maybe mirrors can teach us some nasty Bisaya. No.
She's too shy. She would never say it on camera, right?
No.
What's the turkey say?
One. No.
No. Too shy. She's a good girl. She doesn't want to say anything like that. But I start poking her and tickling her. It all comes out then.
Oh, I'm not saying nasty. I'm just saying
Right.
we're
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, too fun.
You know what that means?
What is it?
Obo.
No. Do you know what that
It's
means?
cough. Yeah, it's cough.
Cough? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
cough. He knows a lot of us. Of course, he speaks Tagalog where he's at. Yeah, he's
Okay.
on Batangas,
Mm,
Filipino wife. Yeah. Well, you guys have anything else we want to talk about? We'll probably peel out here, maybe go down and get some breakfast, and then get on the road. Um, we don't have far. I really like to limit my riding to just a couple hours a day, and then I am excited though about this next route. It's going to be really cool. Let's see, can we get the map up? Actually, hold on. Let's just see if the map will come up. And I can kind of show you guys. Oh, yeah, that's actually, yeah, that's working now. Okay. All right. Yeah, let's see if we can get this map up. I could show you guys a little bit about where we're at. Share screen, Google Maps, share. So, yeah, here we are right down here, just outside Oras, at this Rose Hill Mountain Resort. Really cool little place, man. Dig it. Nice big pool. Really cool. And then we're gonna ride up this coast. Look at this twisty road, right? Look at that right there. That looks really epic. Not really mountainous, which whatever. Hopefully it should be good. But we're gonna ride up, and then we're gonna be. I think we're gonna stay in this area up in there. So a couple hour ride. And this should. I bet you this will be beautiful. Look at this right here. Yeah, Sleeping Lion Rock. That looks really cool. Yeah, that looks really cool. Can't wait to see that. So that should be in today. We'll shoot a video on that for sure. Looks like a good spot. And then we'll wrap our way around. So that'll be the next couple days. And then we'll go around the northern Samar, and then we'll start coming down this side of it. So I would think we'll be on the road good another week. But yeah, no, it looks pretty cool. Maybe get up to some of these islands up in here too, Beery. My dad sent me a thing on that, how they're hopefully maybe taking that into like a national park of some sort because of the really unique rock formations that are there that are nowhere else in the world. My dad's a really kind of into geology by hobby, not by profession, as he's retired. But yeah, anyways, so that's kind of what we got coming up and what we got going on today. Just finishing up this Eastern Samar. But yeah, really beautiful. That was there's that city we talked about earlier, Barong. And yeah, here's the surf area here that looks really cool. The video that I released maybe recently. So yeah, no, Samar's been all right. I would love to do this this cut across here. This road looks really twisty and through the mountains. I bet you that'll be gorgeous. That'd be gorgeous. Maybe we can work that out on the way back. We can just shoot across really quick. Maybe stay at the Mana Hotel, but I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, no, it's some good riding. Should be pretty good. Should be pretty good. Yeah, what's that one?
You.
Me?
You have a hard.
Have a hard head?
Because when I tell you to stop, you keep. Your gahig ulo.
A guy who is that Tagalog?
Bisaya.
It's Bisaya. Yeah, he knows a lot. He's pretty fluent. Yeah, awesome to see your path forward. Thanks for your time today. Yeah, brother. Yeah, no worries, Chris. Appreciate you being here too, man. Really. Yeah. Is there a plan to visit Baguio in the near future or anywhere north mountains for cooler temperatures? You know, there's a lot of talk about that, you know, Rome, but you know, I would say to this, there are a lot of regions, a lot of places you can go to in the Philippines where you can get Baguio temperatures. Now, Baguio is probably one of the cooler places, but there are a lot of mountain regions. You don't have to go just there. You can get up in elevation. I mean, Bukatan in Mindanao is another one. Valencia outside of Dumaguete is another one. A lot of people talk about Baguio because it is really cool up there, but there are a lot of other regions too that you can get to where you can get some cooler temperatures. But to answer your question, Rome, at some point I'll hit Luzon and ride up through there. I don't have necessarily a plan to go up there now. If anything, I'm itching and craving to get back to Mindanao and ride through that Bukatan region, the central Mindanao. and also too, right outside of Hinog was gorgeous too. So but at some point, I know I'll get up there, but it might be a year or so before I get out. Another thing that I'm really dying to do is get on my bike, go over to Iloilo, and then from Iloilo get a ferry over to what's that, El Nido, and ride and have my bike over there and ride through there. So we'll see about that too. But yeah, but getting up in Baguio and Luzon at some point, but not right away. Yes, safe travels, brother. Enjoy Vietnam. Enjoy your time out there. Hope it goes well. And yeah, good times, man. Good times. Yeah, tag it. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. A lot of places. Baguio gets talked about a lot, but there are a lot of places throughout the Philippines where you just get up in elevation and you're good there. Yeah, much closer to Manila, just 2 hours. The only bad thing about that area is that damn volcano that's right there. So, all right, guys, we're going to go get some breakfast here, and then we're going to hop on the road. Really appreciate everyone watching and hanging out. Check out the Patreon page if you're not already. There's a lot of free stuff out there. We got a whole video that we just shot last night of just Mary Rose and I chatting on the bridge. So definitely check out it's free. You know, you can sign up and do stuff there. There are paid memberships if you like, but if you want to support the channel, but there's free stuff. It's pretty much all free. Real quick, we'll finish up here. Hi from Thailand. Bet you're glad to be back from Colorado. Yeah, crazy times. Yeah, man. It was stressful to be back. It really was. And happy to be back. Happy to be back on the road. Can't wait to get healthy and then start exercising again. But yeah, really appreciate everyone here and watching. Empine, Ayo, and feed that good wolf. Feed it. See you guys.